You run your tongue over your teeth. You feel the squeezed enamel. You look in the mirror at your jawline and assume this shape is the perfect reflection of your genetic destiny. But the true reality is much stranger. Why do almost all modern humans need braces or wisdom teeth extraction nowadays? Your ancestors never visited an orthodontist. They never had impacted or trapped teeth. They possessed perfectly aligned teeth, housed in wide, robust jaws that framed their faces symmetrically. Human skulls from 10,000 years ago show zero signs of dental crowding. How did humanity lose this structural perfection? The secret lies right on your dinner plate. The culprit? A diet of softness. You eat incredibly soft foods. You consume tender meats, cooked vegetables, and highly processed carbohydrates that require almost zero physical effort to digest. Your chewing muscles are completely underutilized compared to those of ancient hunter-gatherers. Why does this lack of effort matter to your bones? Your facial skeleton is highly dynamic. It responds directly to physical force. Harvard evolutionary biologist Dr. Daniel Lieberman discovered that human jaws have been rapidly shrinking for thousands of years. This shrinkage is not a genetic mutation passing from generation to generation. It is a developmental adaptation to a comfortable lifestyle. The growth window. When you chew hard foods in childhood, your jawbones expand. They grow wider and stronger to absorb the mechanical stress of grinding raw roots, nuts, and fibrous meats. The modern deficit. Your soft, modern diet does not offer this mechanical stimulus during critical growth windows. Your jaw remains narrow, stunted, and structurally weak. The genetic blueprint. Your teeth do not know your jaw has shrunk. They follow an ancient genetic plan that dictates exactly what size they should be. They erupt into a mouth that simply lacks the physical space to house them. They twist, rotate, and overlap just to fit into your palate. They fight for millimeters of bone. Anthropological evidence and the changing bite. Anthropologist Dr. Robert Corrucini proved this environmental reality through extensive fieldwork. He authored groundbreaking studies on human populations that abruptly transitioned from hard, traditional diets to soft, industrial foods. He witnessed a massive explosion of crooked teeth within a single generation of families. Genetics do not change their blueprint that fast. The blame rested entirely on the food. The ancient human bite was also fundamentally different from yours. The modern overbite. Your upper teeth likely cover the lower ones in a distinct overbite, a posture that feels completely natural to you. The ancient edge-to-edge bite. Your ancestors possessed a bite where the incisors met perfectly, like paired blades. How did the overbite become the modern norm? The shift happened with the invention of the knife and fork. You cut your food into small, harmless pieces before eating. You no longer use your front teeth to violently grip and tear tough meat from a bone. Your jaw muscles relaxed over the centuries, and your bite receded permanently. The shape of your face changed because of table etiquette. Dr. Peter Ungar of the University of Arkansas analyzed the dental wear of ancient hunter-gatherers. He noticed deep, flat wear patterns that are entirely absent in modern human mouths. Their teeth were worn down by the friction of intense chewing sessions lasting hours every day of their lives. This heavy use reduced the height of the teeth, but kept the jaw healthy and wide. Your pristine, unworn teeth are a sign of evolutionary luxury, the medical and aesthetic toll. But this luxury created an unforeseen medical crisis. A narrow jaw means a drastically smaller oral cavity. Your tongue is pushed backward toward your throat because it has no room to lay flat, compressing your airway into a narrow, restricted tube. Why do so many modern humans suffer from chronic snoring and sleep apnea? Your ancestors breathed effortlessly through their noses. Their wide faces allowed for massive nasal passages and unimpeded breathing during deep sleep. Your modern, long, narrow face struggles to pull oxygen efficiently during the night. You breathe through your mouth because your skeletal structure is collapsing inward. The soft food epidemic is suffocating you. Think about the aesthetic impact of this shift. Today's receding chins and weak jawlines are not natural human traits. They are structural deformities caused by industrial milling, processing, and canning. You are looking at a face shaped by blenders, ovens, and sliced white bread. Your profile is a historical artifact. You can trace this transformation through archaeological layers around the globe. Upper Paleolithic skulls look like elite statues carved by masters. Their cheekbones are high, wide, and prominent. Their palates are broad and spacious. Modern human skulls appear fragile. narrow, and elongated. We traded facial structural integrity for dietary convenience, the use it or lose it biology. Your brain is a master at optimizing metabolic resources. It knows that building thick bones and heavy muscles requires massive caloric energy. If you do not demand hard work from your jaw during childhood, your body halts its development and reallocates those valuable resources elsewhere. You live in a face that has been optimized for a soft world. This developmental window closes incredibly early in life. By the time you reach adulthood, the dimensions of your facial skeleton are virtually locked in. You cannot easily widen a narrow palate just with chewing exercises in adulthood. You are stuck with the structural choices made during your formative years. Why did evolution allow such dangerous flexibility? Because adaptability is the greatest human superpower. Your body does not lock things into genetics that might need to change based on the immediate environment. If you live in a place with abundant soft food, a massive jaw is a waste of energy. Your DNA lets the environment write the final layout of your skull. The modern environment just happens to be incredibly lazy. Every time you smile, you reveal this hidden evolutionary history. Your crooked incisors are the unwritten diary of industrialization. Your wisdom teeth surgeries are physical scars of the agricultural revolution. You carry the proof of a radical dietary shift deep inside your skull. It is a silent anatomical revolution. Wolff's Law and the loss of mechanical stress. Consider the life of a prehistoric child living 30,000 years ago. They did not eat processed purees. They chewed hard, fibrous roots and dried meat as soon as their baby teeth came in. Their masseter muscles developed immense pulling power. This constant mechanical pull physically stretched their facial bones outward. How does a muscle change the shape of a solid bone? Bones are not static pieces of concrete. They are living tissues that adapt to stress through Wolff's Law. When a powerful muscle repeatedly pulls on a bone, the bone responds by depositing more calcium at the attachment site. It grows thicker, denser, and wider to prevent fractures. Your jaw responds to your childhood exactly like a muscle responds to weightlifting. Modern childhood has been a period of severe muscular atrophy. The loss of this mechanical work has systematically flattened the modern profile. When you look at an ancient skull in profile, the jaw projects forcefully forward. This forward growth creates an expansive airway and a highly defined chin. Modern human faces are growing downward instead of forward. This vertical shape elongates the face and narrows the nasal cavity. Why did our ancestors need such massive nasal passages? They were elite endurance athletes who relied on efficient breathing. They needed to pull vast amounts of air through their noses to cool their brains during long persistence hunts. A restricted airway would mean immediate heat stroke and death on the savannah. Your survival once depended entirely on the width of your nasal cavity. Today, you survive with a compromised system because medicine keeps you alive. You are breathing through a straw. From agriculture to industrialization, the change accelerated rapidly during the rise of agriculture. When humans switched from hunting wild animals to cultivating wheat and barley, the texture of food changed overnight. Grains were boiled into soft gruels and porridges that required minimal chewing effort. Archaeologists can look at a collection of ancient skulls and identify exactly when a population adopted agriculture. Jaws shrink almost immediately. This structural decline is the hidden cost of civilization. The Industrial Revolution dealt the final crushing blow to the human face. In the 19th century, new mills invented automated ways to remove fiber from grains. White flour became cheap, abundant, and completely textureless. Industrial canning allowed meats and fruits to be cooked down into ultra-soft, shelf-stable products. Children began growing up on diets consisting entirely of mush. What happened to their teeth within a few decades? Malocclusion became a global human epidemic. Before the Industrial Revolution, crooked teeth were rare anomalies, reserved for the wealthy elite who could afford refined sweets. By the early 20th century, nearly every home in the industrialized world had children with crowded mouths. The rise of orthodontics and wisdom teeth extraction. Orthodontics was invented as a direct response to industrial foods. We created an entire medical industry to mechanically force teeth back into shrunken jaws. We treat the symptom instead of the cause. Wisdom teeth extraction is another modern ritual born from this shift. Your third molars are perfectly normal teeth, designed to help you grind tough vegetables. They require a certain amount of space at the back of the dental arch to erupt safely. In an ancient wide jaw, wisdom teeth fit with room to spare. In your narrowed modern jaw, they become trapped below the bone line. Why does your body still produce teeth that don't fit? Because your genetic code changes at a glacial pace. It takes tens of thousands of years for natural selection to delete a tooth from human DNA. Your genes still operate under the assumption that you are an active hunter-gatherer who needs maximum chewing surface area. Your diet changed in the blink of an eye, leaving your genetics completely out of sync with your lifestyle. Your impacted wisdom teeth are an evolutionary mismatch written in bone, the modern beauty and health crisis. This mismatch goes far beyond your mouth. The narrowing of the upper palate alters the position of your cheekbones, known as the zygomatic arches. When the palate shrinks, the cheekbones drop and lose their prominent horizontal structure. This lack of skeletal support causes the soft tissues of the face to sag prematurely. The cosmetics industry makes billions selling products to lift faces that simply lack ancient bone density. The structure of your jaw dictates the youthfulness of your face. Dr. Lieberman's research at Harvard involved laboratory animals raised on soft versus hard foods. The animals fed soft pellets developed significantly smaller jaws and narrower nasal cavities than their counterparts that ate hard foods. Their genetic blueprints were identical, but the final shapes of their skulls were radically different. This proved, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that facial structure is heavily dictated by chewing stress. Your face is a physical diary of every meal you chewed during childhood. What are we feeding the next generation? Modern children are raised on an unprecedented diet of ultra-processed softness. They consume purees in pouches, chicken nuggets, white bread, and liquid calories from juices. Their facial muscles barely engage during their most critical developmental windows. This lack of exercise causes the tongue to drop to the floor of the mouth instead of resting against the roof. Why is the resting position of the tongue so critical? The tongue is the strongest muscle in the human face. When it rests properly against the roof of the mouth, it acts as a natural internal expander. It exerts a gentle, constant outward pressure that shapes the developing upper jaw into a wide, beautiful arch. If your tongue drops because your jaw muscles are weak, your upper jaw collapses inward. The palate arches upward toward the nasal cavity, physically reducing your capacity to breathe through your nose. Your facial posture is breaking your health. This collapse triggers a vicious cycle of mouth breathing. When your nasal passages are restricted, you are forced to part your lips to breathe. Mouth breathing alters the muscular balance of the face, pulling the jaw downward and backward permanently. This posture alters the development of the neck, spine, and shoulders over time. It creates a forward head posture that strains your entire musculoskeletal system. A soft diet can literally warp the alignment of your entire body. Reclaiming our form. How can we honor